It's taken me all this time to find out what I needed. I don't want to come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time. Let's talk about the Pepsi Cola Addict by June Allison Gibbons. First of all, I enjoy the format from Strange Attractor Press. They the cardboard cover has like a flap that sort of makes it feel like it's a book jacket when it's still a paperback. It's very attractive, has kind of a matte watercolor paper feel to it. It's very nice. Um, it does open up with a couple pages in the author's handwriting. Particularly this one right here talks about writing the book and hopes that we enjoy it. Very interesting to read. Am I doing a series of books by literary outsiders with mental illnesses? Maybe, yeah. So, what do I want to say about this book? Basically, it reminds me of a bit that Eliza Schlesinger did, where she talks about how when she was maybe a teenager, she did like a play with a friend that included some very edgy material related to some sexual themes. And she ran into the friend decades later and she says, "Oh, you have you have a video of me doing this stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. And if I show anybody else, I'll go to jail." Um, and so that's kind of like what this book is, because she wrote it when she was 16 years old, and there's like various sexual content in there. There's like self-pleasuring scenes. There's him being seduced by an adult and a couple other things. And it's like, teenagers and young people aren't generally encouraged to write that kind of thing. I mean, they're generally discouraged. And why is that? Is it because they're not allowed to think those things, or is it because grown-ups are not allowed to read it? And so why are we allowed to read this, right? Well, I suppose that by the time you have grown up with twins who only speak to each other because nobody understands you because you talk so fast, and then you're just isolated between the two of you, and then you go on a crime spree, and then you get institutionalized in a psychiatric institution for like a decade, and then you decide that one of you has to die for the other to live a normal life, and then one of you does die by force of sheer willpower because they never found the cause of death. I suppose they figure like you have bigger problems than telling us about how a teenager like rubbed his genitals or whatever. And plus, when you have like a life that has come into the spotlight with just such an interesting life, people are interested in what you have to read or what you have to say. I had no idea it was going to be in this book when I bought it and read it, and it was interesting. Interesting book, and it inspires me to finish my own book because, as you can see, books don't have to be seriously thick to be books. And I am writing a novel myself, and I really, really like to release it this year. And if you're interested in that, let me know. Lastly, I did not have a fancy camera stand. I actually inserted my phone in between a vine and a tree. And that's how I got the stunning and still camera footage that you're enjoying right now. My fingers are freezing. Bye.